Replicon Radio is brought to you in part by Lex the Hexmaster and the Shadow Army. What up, y'all? Welcome back. This is Replicon Radio. I got a little special treat today, a little one-off. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel over on YouTube, Replicon Radio, and obviously hit up repliconradio.com. We do our live show every Monday night. So make sure you guys peep that and you're following us on all social medias. But today we got something a little different for you. We're doing a special episode, as we do from time to time. So let's just go ahead and hop on into it. Without further ado, give it up for my man Jay Villain. What's up, brother?
Hey, what up, man? How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing great, brother. Doing great, living the dream.
Oh yeah,
out here doing the thing, man. Trying to stay alive in these times, if you will.
Right. Keeping your mask on and shit.
Yeah.
6 feet.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
6 feet
Same here, man.
Yeah. You got to stay 6 feet apart so you don't get 6 feet under. Isn't that the rule or something? I don't know.
Yeah. Something like that.
Some shit like that. But yeah, man, welcome to the show. Again, this Jay Villain, for everybody tuned in that's not paying attention, in the house.
That's right.
So lots of big stuff coming, man. I know we got some announcements to make and some things that are dropping. I definitely want to talk about that. But we like to get to know people, man. We like to go all the way back to the beginning, man. So like, you were from Columbus, Ohio, right?
Yes, south side of Columbus, Ohio.
Dope. So like as a kid, like growing up, I know Columbus is a pretty hotbed for music, especially underground, man. There's a lot of underground movement and stuff going on there, so that's dope. But like, how did you like? Were you originally like a fan in like underground stuff or like Juggalo music, or did you like grow up with like rock? Like, what was kind of your first influences and taste into music, just as a fan? Like, how did you get into all that?
Actually, it was my cousin. We were into like metal first, to be honest with you. Slipknot, Korn. It was very early stages of that scene. So like, my cousin got me into it. Michael, actually, I don't, no one really knows him. He's just my family, but he got me into it when I was, I want to say, closer to 10 years old. So we're talking almost 20 years ago. Because I'll be 30 this year.
Dope.
So we were on our way. We was taking a family trip to Lake Erie, and we were going through different CDs and stuff like that. And I came across Bazaar from ICP, and I had no idea what it was. Just threw it in the CD player, and I was kind of liking it, but had no clue what the fuck was going on. From listening to metal going to hip hop, it was kind of totally different. And this was totally different kind of hip hop. I think one of the first songs we came across was Cherry Pie. Cherry Pie. Yeah, that was the first ever ICP song I've ever heard. So coming back from the family trip, started telling my parents about it. Hey, I like these guys. They had, clown makeup on. Didn't really know much about them, but my stepdad, he did. He took me up to Media Play, and I purchased Great Malenko. And from then it was fucking on. You know what I mean? Great Malenko was the first CD I listened to from front to back, and really just fell in love with it. So, as any young juggalo, you get one CD, you get a little taste, and all of a sudden you got to have the whole fucking one. The whole
right.
six.
It's a dang addiction. Like, wait, what are these Joker cars they're talking about? This is the fourth? Wait a minute.
And then you start finding out about, the side acts like Twisted and, Killa, ABK. I got his CD actually was next. That was the first CD I got, Hatchet Warrior.
Hell yeah.
After Great Malenko.
That's
shortly after.
Great record. That's so your introduction into the Juggalo world was your introduction into hip hop, like at the same time. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy.
Honestly, yeah, I know, right? Usually you come across like shit you hear on the radio or what your parents be bumping, but no, it was straight Juggalo music.
That's dope. Hell yeah, that's super cool though. So I mean, obviously you just fell in love with the whole scene. The Juggalo stuff was. I mean, were you still enjoying metal? Were you still?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I still to this day love metal, but it was kind of like, I don't know, like you kind of get what I'm saying here. You go in middle and high school, you kind of just fall into certain scenes with your crew, and It was just juggalos. You know what I mean? We didn't, the metal kids at my school at least didn't really fuck with the juggalos at that time. Yeah. You gotta think, because it was like close to shit. Let me think of the time frame here.
You say,
It was hard
unfortunately, I'm
bearing.
a little older than you, but
Yeah,
yeah. Our
because
kid,
this would have
we
been.
had like the like I guess technically there was only like one metalhead in my school, like legit one dude. Everyone else
Yeah,
who was a metalhead in parentheses was like it was like Marilyn Manson, Korn, Tool, like that was metal to us at the time, like Pantera.
yeah,
You know, what I mean that's the shit I was into, but they kind of mixed with the Juggalo crowd, especially like it all kind of like went together because it wasn't that metal. The one metal kid everyone was kind of afraid of.
right.
Like the do do
That's
do
the
do do. Like, whoa,
yeah
what
the
are you
death
doing,
metal.
bud? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it was just we were clicked up with the straight juggalo scene. More in high school, not so much in the last couple of years of middle school. It was kind of like that. Like you were still trying to find what you fit into, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
So in high school, that first year, it was kind of like, oh yeah, I see my crew. Hey, woo woo woo.
Whoop,
You know what I
whoop.
mean?
Let's go get some Fago. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So right around that same time, I guess, you like so you got into the music and then you're like, I want to do this too. Like, so you and your homies kind of started a group together. Like, how did that? Like, how did it? Like, what was it that you were like, I want to do this, and like, how did you guys end up setting up? Because you started out with a group with the 614 Villains, right?
Yeah, so 614 Villains, how that started was with our little homies in high school and shit. We were, I think his name was Hayes or something like that, but his real name was Rodney. Just one of our buddies. He was actually using the computer, using sound recorder to do like a minute kind of rap that he would just put on a beat and kind of go at it. And he was showing us that, and I'm like, that's kind of fucking cool. Let me jump in there and try that out. So we played with that, like I said, it's that little sound recorder thing on your computer. It's long ago it was. So we played with that for a minute. I want to say close to about a month, and then I took my copy that I made, which was on a CD, to school, and I was passing it out to some of my friends and seeing what they thought. Hey, how do I sound? Is this even something I should fuck with? I kind of like it, but I don't know. Kind of seeing what they thought. And one of my buddies named Mike got a hold of it, and he actually had a studio set up that his dad was doing Christian music in. So he was
Dope.
like, "Hey, man, you want to come over and try to lay this shit down in a real studio?" It wasn't a real studio at all, but
It was
we
back
went
then,
over.
probably. Hell yeah.
Right, right. So we went over there, and before we could even record, his dad made a deal with us. He's like, "Look, you guys want to use my studio? That's fine, but every Sunday you're going to come over here, and we're going to take these speakers." He had a whole speaker setup and concert setup, and we're going to go to different churches, and you guys are going to help me put on a show to use in my studio. So we were
Hmm.
doing that for almost a year. We were going to different churches every week and then coming home and spitting all kinds of wicked shit in the microphone. It was really crazy when you think about it, but that's how it started. We just started
So
we
in the
started recording
basement,
that
you were the villains, but then outside, you were the
the
heroes. Like,
Christian boys. Yeah, playing drums and recording. Like
so
we would do little Christian concerts with his dad to promote his music, and then in return we got to use a studio. So we just put together 614 Villains, which was me, Mike. At the time, it was me, Mike, Tucker, which was Zigzag. That's when it started. It ended up just being me, Zigzag, and DJ B Done.
that's wild. So you guys, we're
Yep.
okay. We're gonna talk about this for a while. So you're
This was
out there.
around. Oh, go ahead.
So were you guys out there doing like praise and worship music, or were you doing like DC talk cover songs, or like what was going on?
No, he was writing full blown Christian music. Like I think you can still
Like
find his
his
music
own
on YouTube.
original stuff?
Yeah, yeah, he would do covers like Hallelujah and
Sure, yeah, yeah.
some of the stuff you hear when you go to regular Sunday. But what it would be is they would go to have service, and then after the service, you would get like a little lunch break, and then he would perform for about 45 minutes to an hour. There was even sometimes though he would show up at 9 o'clock at night. We'd set up his stage, and by 10 o'clock, he'd have a whole church full of Christian people, like 200 deep, ready to rock out. You know what I mean? Like it was that type of setup. So we would set up his he had a guitarist, he had a bass player, drummer, and his son would play the drums. Mike, the one that I initially met and brought back to the studio, he would play the drums, and I would more or less be on the camera and recording it. because he would record most of his performances.
Wow.
And that's really how we did it, man. We got to use the studio for doing that, you know?
That's dope. That's crazy. So you guys were basically just doing crew and roadie type stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
That's
wasn't like well, he was kind of performing because he was playing drums.
Playing
He
the
would
drum,
tag me
yeah.
in every now and again. I wasn't like a great drummer, but you know, you just played that cymbal and hi-hat and that bass, you know, just ride that out because every fucking Christian song is the same beat.
Yeah, that's
But
wild.
you know,
So then you guys would
like,
just go back to the studio and you guys were like writing your own songs, or were you guys doing like covers of like
yeah,
underground
we were.
things, or like I mean, what was? Were you guys all
I was-
rapping, or was he playing drums? Or were you
Yeah.
guys a band? Like, how did it all start? I
Okay,
guess.
so we would go back. We weren't allowed to use any of his like actual instruments or equipment, so it was just straight rapping. It was even before we found our DJ. So literally, it was me, Mike, and Tucker. We were writing our songs, but we were heavily influenced by ICP. So you know what I mean. So we were kind of jocking the fuck out of all of that. You know what I mean. So I would say, yeah, we were writing our own songs, but definitely heavily influenced by that shit. So, you know, we'd rap about Fago, killing, and axes and shit like that. We were definitely young into that shit. I think we did cover Homies at one point, to be honest with you, but we never put it out because at that time we didn't really know how to like put shit out on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think MySpace was the only thing that we had at that time, and we had like 2 songs up. you know when you like used to go to the MySpace page and it would automatically play a song.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
we like, cause dude, I want to say I was like 12 years old when we were doing this. Like we were super freaking young, like really young. We started actually putting together a real record at that little Christian studio thing. I think it was called like The New Beginning, and that was around December 6th, 2000. December 6th, 2006. December 12th, 2006. I remember that because when we put that record out, that was the first time we went to Alrosa and played with ABK.
Dope.
So that was, we were called Deadline at that time. It wasn't even 614 Villains. It was our next show. We switched it to 614 Villains, to be 100% honest with you. But we never, you know what I mean, put out like a full actual album. It was like a little sample CD, and we called it The New Beginning, and we stuck a little sticker on it, and we passed that out at Alrosa.
That's dope. That was like your first show, or that was just
Yeah.
like your first show with someone?
Everything.
Wow.
First little album that we took out and gave out. First show. The first show, like I said, was December 12th, 2006 at Alrosa.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
That's how long ago that was. That was when Killa left Psychopathic for the first time.
For like a week or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
year, but yeah. That's
Yep.
wild.
So if you remember all that time frame, that's when that was.
I remember.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
wild.
And then we came shortly after that. Mike went away. I think he moved like far away, and then it was just 614 Villains, me, JJ, Zigzag, and B Done.
And you guys,
around that time.
you guys kept doing your thing for a while as the 614 Villains, like you.
Yep.
So what? I guess kind of a, I don't know, like a fast forward timeline. So what happened from, like, you know, you guys doing your thing and trying to, like, you know, get out there and, you know, get in the scene to I guess a few years later when you were doing J Villain solo stuff. Like, what was it that made you start doing the solo projects and things like that?
Well, we did like from, I want to say this from 2013 on to around 2016. You know, we did it like, so about that 3 years. We did a lot of like cool shit. We did a lot of opening for ICP. I think we did a Tech 9 show here in Columbus. We did a bunch of gatherings. We got a bunch of gatherings plugs, and we even teamed up with Menace to Sobriety and released like 2 CDs in that time frame. They used to do this little. You ever heard of Menace to Sobriety out of Troy, Ohio?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're fucking dope. They used to do a little
Shout out to Jay
label called
Ronan. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to do a little label base called Angels Tier Entertainment. So we did 2 CDs with them. What happened though is like Zigzag with Tucker, whatever you want to call him by, he just kind of wanted to do like more something that was more structural. You know what I mean? Like we weren't getting a lot of money. We were young. We didn't know how to really like run this the proper way. You know what I mean? So like the records we were putting out, we were selling, but we weren't doing the money the right way and restocking and doing shit like that. So there was times where we had shows and no merchandise, no way of making money. So he kind of took the adult route and just got a real job and started doing that. I just kept going. I think it was around the end of 2016. I was doing a lot of shows with Killa. I was bringing him down to Columbus a lot and then going up to Michigan and doing shows with him. And he was like, you wanna, because at that time, I forgot to say that at that time, 614 Villains was on Killa's Stray Dog label that he created for us. It was like a trial run. If you can do this and make some noise, and you can come on the Native World. But obviously that didn't work out the way everyone thought it was. So Killa approached me and was like, if you want to keep going, man, you can put out an album on Native World as Jay Villain. You're the only one showing up to shows anymore. You're the only one that's still going to the studio, putting out music. So, just rock with us. So I came up with Stand Up Be Forgotten and dropped that in 2017 with Killa on Native World. Dope. So that was like the official, like, I'm going to do this. B-Dun was still around. He just kind of, B-Dun had like I can't remember exactly. I don't want to like call it the wrong thing, but he had like a lot of health issues going on with his back and stuff. He had like some kind of bone disease. I want to say it's like AS, but I might be wrong. My bad for not knowing 100% about that, because it was a rough time frame when that happened, because like everybody kind of went sour when they went out. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't the best splitting.
Yeah.
It was, like I said, a lot of it was over money. It wasn't handled the right way. So when all that happened, like as a Killa approached me, I jumped on his first little run that he did, the Hatchet Warrior run. If you remember that, it was around 2017. It was like a 5-day tour. And that's where I just made that decision. I'm going to keep going as Jay Villain. I'm not going to team up and do anything. It's not going to be a group anymore. It's just going to be me. You know what I mean? Who's got you better than you? You know what I mean? So I just put it forward and ran with Killa.
For sure. Yeah. Unfortunately, I hear that story a lot. Obviously, not the same story, but the same type of thing. Like good or bad, it just things like group projects tend to just fall along the wayside because somebody doesn't want to work as hard, or someone's not as serious, or someone has a kid, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
it tends to happen a lot, unfortunately. But
yeah, because I mean, you got a lot of things that have to come together and click, to make it either work or not. You know what I mean? And we had that when we were young, but then a lot of stuff started coming in. A lot of people started getting bills,
so much harder.
Kids, and it's just we weren't the best at running our own business. We were fucking like 15, 16 years old, and not the greatest excuse, but you know what I'm saying. We didn't have a manager. That was one thing, is we never had like somebody like, hey, I'm gonna help guide this. It was just hey, we fucking go in a studio and then we go rock a show. You know what I mean? And then we party.
Hell yeah, I mean, absolutely. So I didn't know about the like the sub label, or I didn't know about that.
Stray Dogs.
Yeah,
it wasn't never announced. That was the one thing that kind of threw us off when we, because I don't know how much you want to get into that, but I'm willing to talk about it. But it was a rocky thing, because like we felt like, okay, when Killa approached us as 614 Villains, you know what I mean? Because like I said, we were doing a shit ton of shows with him. We were always traveling. We'd be in fucking, Detroit, or we'd be over here at Carl's Tavern, Indiana. You know what I mean? We any show that he would allow us on, we would go. And he would see that, we were down with that. And when he threw us the little deal and was like, hey, we'll put out your next album. That's what it was. We'll put out your next album. So, all right, cool. So we send it in. And then we find out, well, it's Stray Dogs. Well, what the hell is Stray Dogs? You know what I mean? Like, and he was like, well, it's like a trial run. We're like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. But he never made an announcement. There was never an announcement. There was never anything about it. So it was kind of like we were telling people we're on Stray Dogs, and there was one logo made, and we'd show them that, and they'd be like, yeah, I never fucking heard of that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, all right, well,
that's wild.
Whatever. So, the boys were happy, but at the same time, it was like, well, is this anything different than what the hell was already going on? Right. You know what I mean? Like, now we're just giving you part of our money now. You know what I mean? But so that was kind of, that whole thing was weird. But as you can tell, it went away as soon as I joined Native World.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that's weird. I've literally, like, still until just now, I'd never heard of that. That's crazy. I mean, I guess I get it. I get it on both sides, the trial run thing, and then at the same time, if you're you're trying to be an act, and you're like, oh shit, this is gonna help us. But the help is the announcement. The help is
Yeah.
the cosign. Where's the cosign? Like,
Right.
but so, but obviously, I mean, things were you ended up being a part of Native World, which is, you know, was at least from what I see, it was a pretty big moment. Like a lot of people heard your
Oh
name
yeah.
and heard your music. Um, you released your first record over there. Like, so how was that? Like now, like, and at that point, like that's when like. I mean, I know, like, currently there's not much going on with Native World. Killer's just focusing on himself and stuff. But, like, then it was like right around that time, it was like, oh shit, this is gonna become like label number 3. Like this is the next thing. Like everybody thought Native World was gonna be like a big, you know. There was a lot of like YUG and you. I think Keegan was still over there at the time doing stuff. Like
Well, Keegan had. Oh, go ahead.
no, I'm just trying to think of the time. Like, there was a lot of people there and a lot
Yeah.
of noise going around Native World at
Yeah.
the time. So like, what was that whole? I know it ended, but like at the time, like, well, how was that whole experience and like how was everything? Like, what was that
It
like?
was
Like, holy shit!
it was fucking awesome, to be honest
Yeah.
with you, man. We rode to the gathering that was fuck, the one in Oklahoma. What year was that? Fucking yeah, I
18,
know.
18 or 17 or 18.
18.
Yeah.
Okay, it's so off now since we didn't have a gathering last year, and I
Right.
don't know if we're gonna have one this year. It's like fuck, my counting is totally off. But yeah, the Oklahoma
It
gathering.
was the
We
18th because
was it the 18th,
it was the 18th gathering. So I guess it was, I don't know
the
what year.
19th annual,
No, it was the 18th
or
annual.
18th annual. Okay,
So it might have been
so
2018. Yeah,
okay,
2017. I don't know. Dates are
we
weird.
rode we rode to that gathering. Native Road in full fucking effect. So you had it was Jay Villain, Mad V, Freddie Grimes, I think fucking Worm showed up. I can't remember if he was there or not. God damn it, who else was there? Yeah, the whole team was in effect. It was awesome, dude. Like, it was rolling hard. Native World would have blew the fuck up if all them acts would have just fucking stayed dedicated. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
not to shit on anybody, but you know, a lot of people when they came on the Native World, they thought it was like, oh man, we made it. We got fucking the record deal. You're gonna get all this money and all this attention and all that shit. And I mean, you got to still work. You got to work your ass off.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying none of them did that. It's just I felt a lot of them felt discouraged because of the fact that they thought they were going to get this, like, you know, a fucking golden ticket once you sign this deal.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, when we went to that gathering, though, the Oklahoma one, we were on Red Moon stage, and we had our whole set. So it was like 45 minutes. Everybody had a part of it. See, like, that was awesome. You know what I mean? Everybody went out there, did the thing, supported each other. We had autograph
You
signings.
guys had
It
that
was
big
awesome.
old camp back in the woods. I remember.
Yeah,
I remember
we had
kicking
the
it with
big
Freddie
camp.
over there. Yeah.
Yep, Freddie Grimes. Fucking, I miss that dude, man. He was awesome. That was the first time I actually got to kick it with him. Like I said, that gathering was just magical. It was really coming together as a label and doing a damn thing. Like you said, we had the whole campground over there in the woods.
Yeah.
Everybody was coming over partying.
Like, that
Fago
shit was
lovers was
high.
fucking with
Like,
us.
I didn't know you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we met, or if we did, it was maybe for like a second or something. But like, I was hyped for everyone because it was like I known Freddie for forever. Like, since we were kids. Like, one of his first shows out of town was in St. Louis, and he slept on my couch. Like, when we were kids. Like,
that's awesome.
So I was
dude.
like hyped for him. Obviously, like, I've known Killer for a long time. And PJ's one of my best friends, and Frodo's one of my best friends, and like
Frodo, that was another one there.
I was like, dude, like, y'all are about to fucking, like, all my homies are about to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I was hype as hell. And I was like, and these other cats are cool too. And you got YUG, like, you know, I didn't really know him well. I just knew he was Brian's brother, so I was like, that's dope regardless. Like, but I was like, this hype, and like, Killa's always been dope, and like, the one thing about Killa, still to this day, especially doing this show, is like, his name comes up more than anyone's because he's some sort of connection or glue to almost everyone in this scene. 95% of it's positive. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's things happen here and there, but like most of it, it's like he's always trying to help people. Sometimes it doesn't go as planned, but it's like, even like with Magic Ninja, like talking to George, like ABK was the reason George booked his first tour. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how much like people don't pay attention to how much like that dude was always trying to help people. He may not
Right.
have always had the best ideas or you know what I mean, like
Right.
he
For
never had,
sure.
you know what I mean, he doesn't have, you know, some of these people have money behind them. Like you got a big company, you got a ton of money. He just has passion, and sometimes it doesn't really work out when you don't have the money or the funding to do it. But
Right. Yeah, that is one thing about Killer, man. He is super fucking real. Like he is the one artist that doesn't play that fucking, that what do you want to call it? That character or whatever, that rich
yeah,
boy, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like he is real. He will come out, rock the fucking show, have the dopest merchandise, and while you're sitting there buying the merchandise before you leave out, you're gonna catch him drinking a beer,
yeah,
probably trying to smoke your weed. You know what I mean? Like he is that type of motherfucker. He is awesome, man.
for sure.
That is the thing. But yeah, he put together the biggest fucking. I mean, there's other people that could have been added, but he put together a pretty fucking solid hardcore underground lineup, for Native World, and it ran for about a year and a half, 2 years before it fell apart. You know what I mean? But
For sure.
it was awesome in that time frame, man. It was awesome. I think Freddie dropped his record, Matt V dropped his record, G dropped a record, I dropped two, and I think that was about it. And then, yeah, everybody kind of went their separate ways after that. Freddie dropped off, then Matt V dropped off. G's still around. You know what I mean? He'll always be considered Native World. Same with Larry. We forgot about
Oh yeah,
Flagrant. Flagrant
yeah.
Music. How the fuck are we going to forget his name, man?
Right?
That motherfucker. God damn it. Sorry, man, if you're listening. I got nothing but fucking love. You know that shit.
Hell
But
yeah,
he's still always Native World. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
So there's still some longtime homies that still
JoJo
kicking
put
it
a
around.
record out one of these days.
Yeah, I can see that. Call it the merch game.
I can too. Hell yeah. You're Native World. Everybody, you know what I mean. Like I said, that's super hype. Like the people that are paying attention to the underground, they are probably hype. Like it was a great collective. So then what happened? So like now we know now you're not on Native World. You're putting out. We'll talk about the new record in a minute, but like you're putting your stuff out on your own now. So like what was kind of the like how did that all kind of, was it good? Was it bad? Like what kind of happened that led you to go back on your own there?
I mean, it's all still good. To be 100%, what happened was at the beginning of COVID. Do you remember that time where Killa kind of disappeared? He wasn't on social media for a minute. The website went down. There was a couple people complaining about the orders that they put in and didn't get because of the shutdown during COVID and all that shit. So during that time frame,
He just kind of came back when we had him on the show a couple months ago.
Yeah. So like when and I'm not speaking for Killer or anything like that, but from what I felt happened, he kind of just sat back and was like, with everybody that dropped off. No, I can't say everybody, but the few people that did drop off the label and a lot of shit that was going on, people who was supposed to put out projects was claiming Native World that never did. I feel like he kind of sat back and was like, I need a break from all this shit. I want to just wipe everything away. There was never a conversation where it was directly you're off of Native World or me telling Killa, fuck you, I'm done with Native World. It wasn't anything like that. It was during that time when everything shut down and he was doing his thing. I felt like I'm not going to wait for anybody. I'm just going to go record my record. You know what I mean? And I didn't know if he was going to put out the next record or what. So I kind of just did my own thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when I got towards the end of it, he started to come back. He made that announcement, the website's going to come back. Everybody who didn't get their order will get that Lonely Rider, CD. So around that time frame, he started coming back into the thing. We actually started talking. And with me having pretty much the whole album done, ready to go, music videos filmed, ready to go, because he was gone for that long. Not to, say anything, but I had that whole time to get all that shit done. Yeah. We just didn't have the 100% agreement on the way to put this one out. So it was like, I made that decision. Well, let's just see what it would be like if I did this on my own. Let's see what my numbers would be. Let's see how Jay Villain really stands now on my own. You know what I mean? So I just ran with that. So it's not like at this moment, I'm still fucking with Native World. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing, there was never a contract between any of us, any of these artists. Don't let anybody fool you with that shit. Native World never had a contract with anybody. It was all spoken word deals, agreements and shit. Homies doing this shit together.
For sure.
So it's not like, you know what I mean? Like there's no hate, there's no I'm not Native World. It's just this project was done just by me at this time while Killer was figuring out his shit. Because if you notice, he has a website up, but there still hasn't been any other artist website or shit on that website.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? I think he's still trying to put together an actual deal for these artists. So at this point, Native World is just Killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, G is still around. I'm still around. Flagr's still around. But at this point, it's Killer's doing Killer. You know what I mean?
For sure. No, that's what's up.
So
that's. I mean, that's actually good. That's nice to hear. Like, it's not. You know what I mean?
yeah. So there's
Because
no hard
generally, when
feelings.
shit like that happens, especially in the underground, man, like when it comes to artists and labels, like people take it it's way different than the real world, the normal. You know what I mean? Like the normal.
Yeah.
Not that this world isn't real, but you know what I mean? Like if somebody leaves Sony, nobody gives a shit. But
Right.
if something happens with Psychopathic or Magic Ninja or Native World or even Strange Music, everyone's like, "Oh fuck, what'd they do?
Yep.
What'd they
Yep. There's a
do? It's all
fucking
bad."
uproar.
Yeah. But
Who we talking shit on now?
exactly. Like, what's that song about? Oh, he's dissing him in that track. I know that's about him. It doesn't say him, but it's clearly about him. Like,
Right.
it's not always the case. Like, people need to do shit. You know what I mean? Like, but that's so. I mean, essentially, it's just. I mean, obviously, you guys are still homies. Everything's all good. So it's like, let me see what I can. Let me see what I can do. Let me run it on my own.
Yeah. Let's see how I can stand up on my own 100%. Because, like that's another thing. Like, you know, not to, I don't want to like put it out there as one of the artists on Native World did it, but like that's the common thing is a lot of people think that these artists ride Killer's dick, you know what I mean? Ride his wave. If they ain't, if Killer ain't putting them on, he ain't doing shit. You know what I mean? And not to, like I said, not to talk shit about anybody, but if you kind of look, it kind of seems like that's been the pattern. You know what I mean? Like once you leave Native World, you're kind of done. And that wasn't my fucking, I didn't want that to be ever, put out as that.
Yeah.
So when I, like I said, me and Killer had this conversation, the next record could come out with Native World. You know what I mean? 100%. I would be fucking willing to do that if he would be willing to do that and everything meets up the right way. But yeah, there's no hard feelings at all. It was just, let's see if I could stand up on my own and how good it's going to be. Or if I'm going to completely fail, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to keep pushing. You know what I mean? Because I got the heart in this motherfucking shit. But yeah, no hard feelings. I got shows scheduled with Killer. I think we're doing 420 in Michigan. That flyer came out the other day.
Yeah.
So, I'm on that motherfucker. He just did a show in, was it February? At, I was at that one. That was the first time we seen each other throughout, the whole COVID shit.
I was there. I didn't see you.
Really?
Yeah.
What spot was that? I can't. It was a new venue.
Oh, maybe it was a different show. He did 2 shows, so maybe it was the other one. I did the one.
Yeah, one was it?
Well, I did. I was at the Sawed Off. The one he did is Sawed Off.
Yeah. Okay, that was.
Yeah, it was probably like a week later. It's Simon's.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at the one where he.
You were at. I saw your performance later that night at Psychopathic. It was the same night. So yeah, clearly you weren't there because you were at Psychopathic. Now that I was thinking out loud.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, man. I didn't think I was gonna get that. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that shit was dope. But yeah, I want to talk about that too. But let's.
All right.
It's hard. Trust me, it's so hard. I have notes, so I'm trying to stay in order for the most part. Even though we skipped all the records you put out in between that, but.
Well, it was only 2. We stand up. We talked about stand up. That was the first record I gave Killer, and then throughout my 2 years, it was WTF came after that.
So I guess talking about that before we end the Native World, like, was it? So obviously, I know one thing Killer does that he always. The one thing I know for a fact he did when Native World was like doing its thing and he had these artists was like when he would do shows, like when someone offered him a show. He would always try to be like, I don't want to kill a set. I want a Native World. Like, he'd always push to get a Native World set, or at least have a Native World set before him, or something like that. Like, that was one thing he did. But like, what other things? Like, what things were different from going from, just dude in a group who was recorded in the Christian basement and whatnot to like now you're working with Killa, like with Native World. Like, I know you ended up getting some like Jelly Roll and some different features on some of the earlier projects. Like. What was it like working in that atmosphere rather than just in the basement? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much things changed, like, professional wise for you, or like what kind of, you know what I mean? Like, what was that whole portion like for you?
all right, so like when you're doing the shit completely on your own, putting out like out of the basement for say, yeah, you put your shit together and you just put it out. There's nobody to listen to it or anything like that. So like the things that started to change with Rolling with Killa was when you get your album done, you give it to him, submit it in or whatever, send it to him, and he'll listen to it and he'll kind of give you his feedback. It's not necessarily you have to go and do these things. It's just like, unless, it's some wording or something, you talk to shit about an artist or something, which that never happened. But you get what I'm saying? Like, unless you're going out and could fucking ruin his or Native World's name, he's not going to make you change it. So, like, doing that was one thing. You had to submit your stuff in and have him listen to it, and he'll give you his honest feedback about it. Then when it came down to, like, the packaging and artwork and shit. So, like, with Killa, what his deal was, for me, I don't know if it was for everybody, but the deal was, he would print my CD and put it all, package it, do the online orders, all that shit. And he would get 33% of it, the label, Native World would. So that was like one thing, he would press your CDs. So when you go to the shows and shit, he would have your CDs there. They'd be at his merch tent, shit like that on his website.
So you didn't have to worry about coming up with a bunch of money to get CDs
right.
pressed.
You didn't have to put out that couple $100 to get your shit pressed and all that. And he would shrink wrap it all, it would look nice. He did my first one in Slimlines, you know what I mean? So, and you're right. Every time Killa would do a show or somebody would book him, he would have 2 or 3 Native World artists on the bill with him. That was awesome. Like, he always took care of you that way. Like, you're always going to be doing shows. Like, I did 2 or 3 tours with him. You know what I mean? Like, he would always make sure you're taken care of as far as that goes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was like the big difference is we started our packaging started looking better. You know what I mean? I had CDs available because, like I said before with 614 Villains, we never did the money right. We'd play shows and wouldn't have fucking a T-shirt, a CD, a flyer half the fucking time. And that was another thing with Killa. We would have those flyers. There was always flyers with everybody's shit when they're coming out. You know what I mean? Done up and shit like that. Sure. We had massive fucking stack them at the gathering. We were passing out to everybody.
Shout out to PJ.
Yeah, PJ's God.
Hell yeah.
That motherfucker. The Jaeger, man.
Hell yeah.
I've had a couple nights with. Let me tell you a little quick side story. It was with Killa. He took me out to Sauga, Illinois. Pops. You know where Pops is?
Yeah, it's right down the street.
So we had an issue with the van getting back to
when the van broke down. I remember that.
Dude, I got smashed with fucking PJ doing Jaeger shots.
We had nowhere to go. PJ just told me that. I was with when I was in Michigan. Me and PJ were together. Like, I'm pretty sure he just told me that story.
Yeah, we were fucking, dude. Let me tell you something.
Because Pops don't close.
Right. Have you ever been drinking till fucking 5 or 6 in the morning and walk outside the venue in this motherfucking daytime?
Yes. Unfortunately, yes, because I live by Pops, but most people don't experience that.
That was a whole nother world. Killa, thank you for that. You know what I mean?
We talk about that shit a lot because most people don't experience. Like, that was the shit we used to do when we were young. Like, when we were old enough to drink, the bar is closed, so we would just go to the east side because Pops never did. So, like,
and that gas station that sits in front of it that keeps serving
hours, too. Yep. It's fucking crazy, man.
Dude.
It's a whole nother world.
I was just about to say, and that fucking food stand out front of us. Oh, my God.
Yeah, hell yeah.
The best fucking Philly subs I've ever fucking had, dude.
It's wild, dude. That's crazy.
That whole area is just amazing. But, yeah, so fucking shout out to PJ.
Yeah.
He experienced me totally white boy wasted. Let me just say that. God, it was stupid. But that was the difference with getting with joining Native World is everything was a little bit more. Everything was more professional than the way we were pushing it before. The packaging, the music, because now we weren't recording in the Christian basement no more. We was actually going to. I was
not
paying
that Killa isn't a Christian, okay? We're just
right. But yeah, like see, that's the thing. Like, I'm from Columbus, and he's obviously in Detroit, so I was doing all my studio shit here in Columbus. You know what I mean? I never met up with him to record anything there. Unfortunately, I didn't get that luxury like G and all them did. They got to record with Killa and do their albums with him. I was doing my shit here and then send it off to him to listen to. So when I joined with Native World, I made that decision, like, no more, not to diss anybody with home studios, but I'm just going to go somewhere where a motherfucker damn near went to school or spent most of his life behind this shit. You know what I mean? So I can get the best sound and really the full advantage of, Pro Tools and all that shit. Because I had no idea how to run that shit. You know what I mean? So if I had a home studio, I wasn't really mixing and mastering my shit good because I had no fucking clue how to really do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what all changed. It was more taking it more serious.
For sure. So
And
yeah, and obviously, you learned a lot. You learned a lot of things. So now So now it's your turn. It's your time. Let's see what Jay Villain can do, and we're
right.
looking for the ugly duckling. So
Oh yeah.
so first I want to back up and just like see. I know you made. I don't know if you took it back or if it's still a thing, but you made a few announcements about this record, about like the future of Jay Villain and like things like that. Like this, like I know right now we're talking and you're like, maybe my next one would be on Native World, or maybe you're talking
Right.
about things in the future. But at one point you were saying this could be the end. Like you were
Yeah.
so
100%.
like you were so stuck on like this is like. But basically, it was like you were putting your all in it. Like this, I'm gonna put everything into this record, and if it don't work, then I guess it don't work.
Right.
Like where did that like? Is that still a thing, or is like where did that like? Tell me about the
So at
project.
that,
Just tell me about the whole like you know what I mean. Like okay, I'm gonna do it. This is gonna be me. Like where did
so
it all come about? I know there's a story here, so
yeah, there 100% is a story. So at the beginning, like I said, taking it back to the beginning of COVID, a little bit before that, I think it kind of started in February. Well, no, at the end of January. So okay, I'll tell the real story. It's a real story, and if he gets
okay.
mad, someone gets mad, they get mad. All right, so I reached out to Killer because if you listen to my first two CDs, Stand Up, Be Forgotten, and WTF, there is no Killer collab on there, on either one. And I didn't understand that. At the first one I did because when I got signed, it was, okay, do this record, your next one, I'll give you a track. Okay, that was the deal. So Stand Up came out, WTF, I started working on it. I'm looking around, Mad V's got a Killer collab on his first CD. Okay, well, what the fuck? Freddie's got a collab on his first CD. Okay, what the fuck? Obviously, Bakelo and every other fucking artist a part of Native World has a Killer collab. This guy is on his second CD, technically third CD if you want to be real, because Stray Dogs, but second Native World release. I still ain't got a collab. So I was kind of feeling like, what the fuck? Am I just the guy that's just not really here, but here? So I was in a lot of feelings. So I reached out to Killer and was like, hey, I know you're about to do something for Valentine's Day, because you always do. Can I do something with you or do a package deal? Or, you could go to your website and buy A, Killer's, Valentine's package, or B, J Villains, or C together, or some shit like that. Let's work on something. I was trying to do something. And that was kind of at the beginning of his disappearing act where he, went fucking ghost, and I heard nothing. So I was really feeling like, for a second, like, man, I was in my fucking head. And then when, I didn't hear anything and I started working on the album, I was just like, I really started to feel like, man, am I the fucking ugly duckling of this crew? Like, I get no fucking love here, no collab. I was just really down and out. So when I started working on the record and realized that it's going to be just on me, I was feeling, really, really in kind of a dark place, because I was like, man, I don't have Native World behind me now, and this could be the last fucking one. I'm going to give it everything, and if it don't work, then, fuck it. This wasn't made to be. At some point, I gotta, essentially grow up, and fucking move on. I was really feeling that at that moment. You know what I mean? Like, just. Mm-hmm. I was the ugly duckling. No one wanted to fuck with me until I blasted off and started shining. You know what I mean? So now that the shit that now that the record is very close to coming out, the videos, the singles have come out. I moved past that. You know what I mean? I'm not so depressed at that point. You know what I mean? Like, because there was a real point where I didn't even know if I was going to finish Ugly Duckling. You know what I mean? Because I was trying to reach out for certain collabs and they weren't working, and all that was adding into the whole Native World and the past shit, just everything was hitting at once, and it was really feeling like, I don't even know if I'm going to do this.
Just feeling defeated.
And then when I finally got to the 12 tracks done and I think I just got the promo back from Straight Jacket. Straight Jacket did all my artwork for Ugly Duckling. When I got that back, I was just like, okay, you know what I mean? This is gonna work. This is gonna be it. You know what I mean? So if you listen to the CD, you can kind of hear a lot of the shit that I was feeling coming out, and then it starts to get to the end of the record where it's fucking shining. You know what I mean? So it's really the Ugly Duckling to me is my story. You know what I mean? I felt like no one was fucking with me at a point, and I was putting all this into it, and it was just coming to a dark place. And then I finally fucking seen that light where I just grew up, mastered that album, and now you got it coming April 2nd.
See, that's dope. I'm glad I asked about that because that, to me, as much as that shit sucks and the shit you were going through is unfortunate, but that's what makes an artist. That's what makes
Right.
music. Like that's the type of shit that's gonna resonate with these kids because they go through the same. You know what I mean? Like, and people, a lot of artists, not all of them, especially not in the underground. The underground's gotten a little more open lately, but
Yeah.
like people have these characters and these things, and like you don't have that emotion, but that emotion is what draws. Like that's what connects to people. Like the thing you're afraid to talk about is the thing people need to hear.
Right.
You know, like that's dope. Like that's I love it. So your straight
So,
jacket drew this duck boy.
yeah,
That
that's
thing
all
is
Straight Jacket.
sick, dude. I
That
love it.
motherfucker, I love Straight Jacket's artwork. Everything that you've seen from me lately has been all Straight Jacket because that motherfucker's artwork is just amazing. Give him nothing but love, you know what I mean? But yeah, he came
That's
up,
sick.
he put the face to this Ugly Duckling.
I love it's. I love everything. Everything that I've seen about this record so far is dope. Like in my opinion, just my
Thanks,
person,
man.
just from an outsider looking in, like this, like everything you've, like I haven't even heard the record yet. I've heard the single. I've heard, you know what I mean, but just the idea behind it is already the dopest thing you've done, and I haven't even heard it yet. Like it's like the image is sick. Like that, you know what I mean. You have a fucking mascot now. You have a,
Yep.
you know what I mean. You have this dude. You have this face, and it's dope, man. I'm
It's
pumped
got a
for it.
story to tell, that's for sure. You know what I mean?
So the record comes out April 2nd, which is this Friday for everybody listening to this. So you don't have to wait. There is no Anybody Killer feature on this album, but you do have Blaze Your Dead Homie, Binu,
Yep.
Boondocks, Easy Mac, Jamie Madrox and Jelly Roll, Minutes to Sobriety, Mr. Six, and Underrated.
Yes. Underrated. I found him. Man, I was so happy to get him on. Think about it, man. Underrated and One Son, Potluck, obviously.
Yeah.
Man, kind of like Daddy X. They fucking disappeared. You know what I mean?
Well,
I know.
nobody's looking for Daddy X. Calm down.
Right. I'm just saying, though. The motherfuckers kind of went off social media for a while. And I started talking to Underrated like around 2017 because I was trying to get him to join, him and Killer to join forces on a tour. How awesome would that have been?
That'd be dope.
And fucking, he was like, no, I'm not really, I'm trying to do my own thing. I'm not really fucking with music at this point, blah, 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 blah. And, I respected that. He's doing his thing. And then he came out of retirement and started fucking with music again. And I just had to get that collab, man. Think about that shit. That's because I grew up right when Potluck was popping. You know what I mean? Because there was already Cottonmouth Kings, obviously, and all that shit. But you know what I mean? I'm a little younger. So that was like my time frame. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So, yep, got and then Easy Mac. Do you know who that is? A lot of people don't really know who that is.
I do. Well, I know. I was looking earlier and I noticed you did a track with him before with Golden BSP, and I fucking absolutely love Golden. Like, Easy Mac's dope, but I absolutely love Golden BSP. But that does not promote your new record. But yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of him. But yeah.
You've heard the work that they've done together, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The fucking
My Little Pony.
Canada's got some heat coming, man. Canada's got some heat up there.
For
Them
sure.
motherfuckers. We need to cross over there a little bit more. And then that Boondocks collab. I got that one. Boondocks. I got the tour with him and Cottonmouth Kings, thanks to Magic Ninja and Killa. He hooked that up. What was that? 2018 when they did a run.
Dope.
Or it was into 2018.
Yeah, dates are weird.
Got some big names on that bad boy. That Jelly and that Jamie collab.
That's an amazing track. Like that's I mean, obviously it's out now as the single. That's a single. Like that's people put out singles just to promote a record, but like that's a single. Like that's That's a great track. Like everybody murdered that song. It's such a good song.
It's got a lot of heart in it. Everybody's talking about their special lady in that motherfucker.
Yeah, it's dope, man. That's a great track, and the just and like the hook with Jay, like it's such a cool wordplay with the, you know what I mean, like comparing your woman to your strap on your side, and yeah, it's dope. And if you guys haven't heard it, go listen to it. Obviously, go listen to the whole record that comes out this Friday. And then you got you're doing a release party this Friday as well.
Yep, Columbus, Ohio. Yep, poor boys. If anybody's down, come on out.
That's
Bring your
right.
mask though.
That's right. I got the flyer up on the screen. I'm pulling it up here for everybody to look at. So we got live performances from Lethal Injection, Alphabetic, Insane Killer, and Black Magic, Rooks, and Infamous. And I assume Jay Villain doesn't say he's
Yes.
performing, but down at the Poor
Yes.
Boys.
It's a nice little outside bar setup, man. I mean, the bar is inside, but the stage is outside. It's really cool. Cool little spot for
Oh,
anybody,
that's dope.
down. You don't have to worry about being too close or breathing in someone's nasty breath. I know it's COVID time still and all that shit. Bring your mask, bring your ass, and let's have a good time.
For sure, man. Yeah, go people. If you guys are in the area, definitely go check that out. It's going down this Friday, and then you can order. You got like bundles and different stuff at the what? Tell us about like all the stuff with the CD people can get.
Yeah, so jvillain.com just launched it a couple months ago. You can head over there now. We got the CD pre-order. Every pre-order for the CD comes autographed. You know what I mean? They'll sign that motherfucker for you. We got deals with the shirt. You can get the shirt, the cover of the CD on a shirt. I'm not sure how many sizes we got left though, because we've been selling a lot of motherfuckers. I'm trying to think of what else. I can't remember off the top of my head the bundles we got, but we got a couple of different ones. You can get all three of my CDs at the same time. They sign them all for you at once for one little price. All that shit's over there. So head on over. We got charms and all that shit. You can get that duck face as a charm. Ain't that fucking sweet?
That's sick. That face is
You know
so
what I mean?
dope. Like even
So-
after this project, you're gonna be the ugly duckling.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know-
Like,
What's funny? I gotta tell you, because I know I should have said a little bit earlier when you was talking about you asked me, if I'm gonna, I said something about possibly releasing the next record with Native World. So I've already started on the next record, right? And it's funny because I got a collab with Kill on the next record,
hell yeah,
and he refers to me as the Ugly Duckling.
that's dope. That's perfect.
So
man.
forever the Ugly Duckling, motherfucker.
Hell yeah. See, this shit happen. You know what I mean? Trials, tribute, whatever it may be. This thing, all this shit happens for a reason. And as long as you can make it out the other end, whatever it is, like anybody listening, like whatever it is, whatever you're going through, it could be simple, it could be big, it could be emotional, it could all be in your head. Whatever it is, man, as you get to the other side of it, like there's shit on the other. You know what I mean? Like that's how you get rewarded. Like that's the whole.
Yep.
That's where the whole like pot of gold at the end of the rainbow shit came from. There wasn't actually leprechauns. It's you got to get to the other side of that shit. Get through the fucking rain. You know what I mean? Like, so get through those shit, people.
Make it happen. You only got you too. That's another thing. Can't depend on other motherfuckers to make it happen either.
That's right.
Got to do it yourself.
The ugly duckling becomes the black swan or whatever the hell, whatever happens.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how that all works.
The Daffy Duck.
There you go. Daffy's obviously killing it. He's fucking balling.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got that Disney money or whatever, that Looney Tunes money. I don't even know. He's doing all right.
But yep, jvillain.com. That's where all that shit is right now. You can get the pre-order. We'll send it to you as soon as you fucking order it.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, if you're listening to this, it's out. Or it'll be out in 2 days. Yeah, so Friday, April 2nd, the Ugly Duckling Project drops on everyone. The singles are available now. You got some videos up as well, right?
Yeah, we got Ain't Talking. I did a video for Ain't Talking and then a lyric video for the By My Side.
Hell yeah! So definitely go peep that out. Can we expect any more music videos from this project?
Yeah, there's actually one that yeah, there's I'm sorry, I don't know what happened there. Like made a funny noise.
Sound like you got a text or something.
Yeah, there's one that is going to drop here very soon, I'm hoping. And it features the homie Blaze.
Hell yeah. Blaze your dead
It's
homie.
called Paint the Wall.
Paint the Wall. So so everybody listen to this. We're actually going to world premiere the music video on our channel.
Oh yeah.
I don't have any sound effects.
Hold on. Yeah, you gotta hit the
You gotta get
paint the
you
wall.
gotta get the dead one at the end.
Features Blaze Your Dead Homie and Binu. It's a visualizer. That's what it is. I was blanking on the name of it because I'm like, what the fuck's it called again? So it's not a lyric video. It's not a real video. It's a visualizer.
Visualizer. And we're gonna premiere it right here on Replicon Radio. If you're listening to
For the
this,
first time.
it's going to be up tomorrow. If you're listening to this when it premieres, if you listen to it later, it's probably already up. So go fucking watch it. It's going to be dope. World premiere right here on Replicon Radio from Jay Villain. So you guys everybody listening to this now when this drops, you're in for a treat. Because today is technically Wednesday. You're going to listen to this dope interview. Tomorrow, you're going to get a world premiere of the new video or visualizer from Jay Villain, Blaze the Dead Homie, and Binu. And then on Friday, the album drops everywhere for everyone to listen to, but you probably already pre-ordered it, so it'll probably be in your mailbox. So either way, it's an amazing week for everyone out there. I'm pumped. I'm excited to hear the album. Like I'm ready.
Well, I fucking appreciate you, man. It's nothing but kind words. This album it's got my heart for everybody listening. It's really got my heart in it. Like you heard earlier, went through the struggles, a little deep darkness shit going on in my head, but we made it out. Now check it out. The whole story we got to tell you. You'll I guarantee you'll at least have one or two songs that you can relate to or just bump. You know what I mean? Because I try to hit where, By My Side is one of those tracks that everybody I feel like can relate to.
I was going to say, no matter
what.
Yeah, I don't even care I do care what the rest of the record sounds like, but regardless, that one single is already worth the cost of admission. That's worth, like, just to have that track, that's worth buying the record. Like, go buy the record and support just for that song, if not anything else. But I'm sure if that song's that good, you're gonna like other stuff. But
right, and then Ain't Talking, the actual video cut. That one says a lot. Stand up, be yourself. No more time. There's no more talking. It's time for action. You know what I mean? That's 100% with that one. So anybody feeling down, needs some motivation, throw that tune on, fucking sing it loud and proud, man. We ain't talking no more.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. Everybody go check it out. I do have to ask you at least one more question before I let you go, because we asked all of our guests the same shit because we're completely unoriginal and you're not going to get away without it. Essentially, man, you got 3 records, 3 albums that you just could not live without. Maybe it's the one you put on when you're sad and you're crying in the car. Maybe it's the one when you're angry and you punch the wall to, which whatever it may be. Maybe they inspire you as a dad or as an artist or whatever it may be. Just 3 albums you could not live without. What would they be?
Okay, I'm gonna start off with Bon Jovi, "Slippery When Wet."
Wow.
Why? Because that motherfucker taught me how to love. You know what I'm saying? I got 4 kids. That motherfucker taught me how to love. So that one I definitely take with me.
That's dope.
My second one would be this is a little harder to think, but I'm gonna go with "Paper Trail" from T.I. Why that one? Because that one taught me how to be real in this shit. I know a lot of people don't fuck with T.I., but if you know, he got caught with some shit, went to prison for a long ass time. That record was what he made right before he went to prison, and he just told the truth. Told about everything. You can literally listen to that record, learn how to be a drug dealer and how to get caught up in the shit at the same fucking time. You know what I mean? So that one taught me a lot about being real. And then I know you probably had this one that's not, too surprised. Well, it might be, but honestly, the 6 Joker card, Shangri-La from ICP.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Because throughout the story, that was the end of it. And at the end of the very end of it, they said one thing that always stick with me. Hey, we're not sorry if we tricked you.
All right.
You know what I mean? We don't give a fuck what happens now. We're not sorry.
Yeah.
So I would take those 3 because those 3 speak the loudest to me.
Well, and the carnival is God, and and you were a part of that for a long time with your Christian music.
Right. Taking it back to when I was young.
Right. It's all full circle, man.
So yeah, those will be my 3. Oh.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. Yeah, so you put all that stuff in the blender and you get a little J-Ville and it comes out the other end, man. That's dope.
Right.
That's definitely cool. I dig that. A little Bon. I think you're the first person to ever say Bon Jovi. That's
I
dope.
know, because I've listened to a couple of them, and I know everybody always bring up some old school hip hop shit. But see, I would be lying to you because I didn't grow up on that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's not me.
No, it's dope. I dig it. Hell yeah. Everybody, I bet everybody messed with a little bit. Everybody messed with a little bit of Bon Jovi. You can't get through life without a little bit of Bon Jovi.
Right, right.
Man,
Tell me you ain't heard
shot
fucking
to
You
the
Gay
heart,
Rubber Band.
right?
Right.
Hell yeah. Immediately, it pops in your head right away. You're like, damn, you do get a little bit bad name, don't you?
So
That's what's
yeah,
up, man.
yeah, that's how I roll.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, much love for hanging out with us today, man. I appreciate it. I had a blast going down memory road with you and learning about all the things there are to do with the ugly duckling J Villain. That record comes out this Friday, man. Go pick it up, jvillain.com. Follow him on all social medias at jvillain. It's that easy.
Yep.
Any last words? Any shout outs? Anything we didn't get to or forgot to say before we let you go, brother?
Well, shout out to you guys, Replicon Radio, for fucking giving me this interview. You're one of the only to cover the ugly duckling. You know what I mean? So that's why you get the video. And for everybody else, much motherfucking love. Whoop whoop. Hopefully we get to kick it at the gathering soon. If not, catch me on one of the shows coming up. I know there's not many, but they'll start coming in, I swear. And if you ain't heard of me, give this motherfucker a shot. I guarantee you'll fuck with it. It's the ugly duckling. Jay Villain, baby.
Hell yeah. Much love, brother. Make sure you guys go pick
All right.
out the record. Check out the debut of the new video right here on our channel. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace out.